Ample my mind.
What's going on? What's going on? Ample Minds Podcast Season 2. Welcome, everybody. We are here ready to go to get another great season out of the way. We're going to kick it off with a banger today. My boy Brando is here. How are you doing, Brando?
Hermano Richie, doing great, brother. Doing
Amazing.
great.
Thanks for coming by. For those who do not know Brando, this is a very good friend. He is an actor, been on TV shows, Netflix series Selena. He played a young Abraham. That is Selena's dad. Also been a part of well-known commercials, McDonald's, Verizon, right? And he has I think an Apple series, Apple TV series. Yeah, and you're on some stuff, man.
Yeah.
In terms of the acting realm, I definitely look up to you. You're a good inspiration. Anytime I had any questions about that area, you were more than willing to answer any of my questions. So for me to pick your brain here and to showcase what you got going on and the mind of a great person, talented person, it is a blessing, man. So thank you for coming on.
Nah, bro. Thank you for having me. Like, with the little bit of knowledge that I have in the acting game, there's one thing that my mentors always told me is that there's levels to this. There's levels to this game, and I've been blessed to have someone like who's worked in the industry for over 20 years, who's been number one on the call sheet multiple times, and he's made the amount of money that this man has been able to make. He's the one that I look up to. At least in the family, he's the one that we look up to.
And what is his name?
His name is Gabriel Chavarria. For those of you that don't know, he's done a lot of work. I can name them all, but it's gonna take a while. Gabriel Chavarria, his most recent work that he did was Selena the series on Netflix. He plays A.B. Quintanilla, and again, everything that I know, it's because of the information that he's been able to pass down to me. And he always tells me, like, I should be charging you for this information. I should be charging you for this.
Lucky man.
I've been blessed.
That's good, brother. So let's go ahead and rewind it. Let's go to and how we met, right?
Yes.
We work for a production company called 1540. Shout out 1540.
I'm just kidding. Shout out 1540.
Shout out 1540. They do premieres and stuff like that in terms of whether a movie's coming out, they'll do events after.
Mhm.
For example, I did an It premiere.
Yep.
Right. So the scary killer clown, right?
Mhm.
So what they would do, they would have the premiere and then they would do a little after party and it was a carnival, right? So for example, what we would do is I would work a booth, right? And I worked the basketball booth. You see a lot of celebrities, everybody hanging out, having a great time. And 1540 is responsible for that. I met Vanessa Hudgens there, right?
For real?
Yeah. But Vanessa Hudgens stopped by and she was at the basketball booth and I told her to, tweak your elbow a little bit and it went in. So I always say, she'll never ever remember that ever, bro. She'll never remember that. But I like to say I taught her how to shoot a basketball.
Okay. All right.
Nah, man, but that's the industry we met in, and I didn't know you were even pursuing acting because I met you in that space. So do you remember the first gig we even met on?
Bro, that's what I was on the ride over here. I was trying to think, like, what the fudge was the first project that me and Richie met?
I want to say it was Stranger Things. I want to say Stranger Things. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Stranger Things. But yeah, Brando. Whoa, wow. Brando has been a great friend, in terms of us just hanging out and the vibe was always there. Great dude. So I'm glad we got to build an acquaintance, and then as the years and time went on, we're great friends. I'd like to say, man, I'm glad he came out.
Facts.
Doing it here. So in terms of acting, Brando, I want to tell you. What was that moment you were like, hey, this is something I want to pursue?
Mm-hmm.
Or what kind of gravitated you towards that acting space, right?
What gravitated me towards being an actor, I'll be honest, I was from 8th grade to 9th grade. I grew, I don't know how many, 6 inches vertically, not, horizontally, vertically. And I just looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, dude, you're not that bad looking. Why not?
Man.
Why shouldn't we pursue acting? And then again, around that time, that's when I think that's when my mentor Gabe, that's where he booked his first major series regular show, which is called Islos High, which is on Hulu, which is one of the pioneer streaming shows of the streaming industry. Islos High was
Really?
was one of like the first few shows where you can catch it, on streaming services, which was the Hulu, and I think I was around what 6th grade? No, 6th grade. No. This was around, when did Gabe book East Los High? I think I was in middle school. But yeah, I had known about my family, that my family member that he was doing acting. but it was more something like I just left it at that. But come 8th grade and ninth grade, that's when I decided to commit to it because I was getting older.
Yeah,
I was moving
absolutely.
into high school, so my mindset was just thinking a little bit different, and so that's how I would say I gravitated towards
That's
it.
dope, man.
Yeah.
Any particular film that really stood out to you?
A film that really, really, really stood out to me that really, hit me, and I was just watching it left and right was Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio. That
Okay,
movie,
okay.
because of it's I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but it's just a young cat with his best friends who they they're young. They love playing basketball. They love playing basketball high as fuck. Well, not high as fuck. They like playing basketball, but they like doing drugs,
Okay.
when they were not playing. And it's just a story about how you see a good young kid who you have a good future, but you just get caught in the wrong in the wrong you get caught with the wrong people, and you fall in love with just consuming drugs. And that's what happens to DiCaprio's character. And he just goes down this rabbit hole. And the way how he portrays that, man, there's a sequence in that movie where this is where he's at the peak of his addiction.
Okay.
He's at the peak of his addiction, and his mom had already kicked him out of the house. And he comes back to his mom's house in the middle of the night, and he's trying to get back into his home, but his mom won't let him because he's drugged out. And you just see him, you see him on from the front door of the house. He's trying to like get in the door, and his mom won't let him. His mom's on the other end. You see his mom crying, like she's
Wow.
busting her eyes out, and he's over here cursing out like, "I fucking hate you,
Oh, shit.
fuck you, you stupid bitch," and all of that. And you see his performance, and that movie really stood out to me then when I was watching when I was a little kid. But since then, bro, there's been so many movies.
Yeah. So you think that performance really was
That's the like, oh my god, like
that's acting?
this is
Yeah,
performing.
really,
Wow,
really.
that is freaking amazing. And I think right after that, I think I saw Titanic.
Dope. So in terms of you're saying there's levels to this, right?
hmm
Give me some of your early work, right? Trying to really build your status and paying your dues in terms of okay, becoming an actor, right? You got to make sure you got to get some type of work
Right,
to
right.
put on, whatever resume you
Resume,
got, right?
right.
So go ahead and tell me one of your first couple gigs. How
Um,
were they? Was it
right.
a grind?
It was a grind. Thankfully, I always had a compass because I knew my mentor. He was at the top of the game when he started out, and that to me was like, okay, cool. If I'm not booking stuff like that, then okay, anything that I do below that, I'm paying my dues. I'm
Absolutely.
paying my dues up until I get to that level of success.
Okay.
And so for me, it was just like the first things that I worked. I think I worked on the first thing that I booked on Backstage because that's how I first made my profile on Backstage.com. And on Backstage.com, I think I booked my first non-union commercial. This football commercial was pretty funny.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and so that was one of the first things that I booked. Outside of that, I did extras, left and right. I booked this LACC student film, which I regret working with that dude because that dude was a complete jackass.
Oh wow.
If he ever sees what I'm telling you, you're a fucking jackass, dude. Dead ass. Because this guy told me, dude, when I went to LACC and I had the audition, and I booked it. At first, he seemed like a dope cat, nice person. We went all the way out to Joshua Tree to film this. When we filmed it, prior to me filming, he told me, "You're gonna film. It's gonna take me like less than 3 weeks to edit this up and give it to you." This guy took roughly, I would say, maybe 4 months to give me that footage, and I was
Wow.
constantly bugging him, like, "Hey,
That's the worst.
am I
man.
gonna? Yo, you told me you were gonna you gave me a deadline, and I'm just hitting you up. Like I'm holding you accountable to what you told me. You want to know what this guy texted me back, and I'll never forget it. He texted me, dude, you are the worst actor I have ever hired. I regret hiring you. That's what he freaking told me,
What?
and I'll never
Wow.
forget that. And I showed that to I showed that to my mentor Gabe, and he saw it, and he was like, "Fuck that guy."
Fuck
Fuck
that
him.
guy, man.
That guy's gonna regret one day telling you that. And yeah, so
Sure enough, man.
if you are looking at this footage, fuck you.
So
Sorry.
that's the realm. That's the realm you were in terms of trying to pay those dues. And you mentioned something between union and non-union.
Yeah,
That's very
right.
important. So for people who don't know about
Yeah.
union and non-union, gigs and acting and stuff like that. I want you to definitely clarify that for us.
Right. So okay. So that kind of project that I did with that gentleman and any other previous jobs that I've done, like that commercial that I had first booked, those were non-union. And essentially, non-union is they you you work overtime, but you don't get paid what you're supposed to be getting paid. When you're union, the production has to follow SAG after rules. Right? That if talent goes over 12 hours, you got to pay them double. You
Mhm.
got to pay them a certain criteria, depending if you're the number one on the call sheet. And if you're number one on the call sheet, you have a lot of power. So
Okay,
that
okay.
means that if you go over 12 hours, it's on your contract that if this person goes over 12 hours and he's the star of the movie or show, you got to pay him triple, whatever it may be, right? But
Whatever, yeah.
um, so yeah, SAG after they just have certain rules that production has to follow. When you're non-union, they technically don't. They don't care. Like 1540, when we and you got contracted, not contracted, when they would hit us up to do 1540, that technically was non-union because it's people that they need fast.
Yeah, it's almost on the level of, hey, here, do you want to be like I said, do you want to be in this music video? Here's $10. Go ahead and be in this music video, and you're there and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But they won't really hold you as a high priority, nor
Exactly.
they
Exactly.
think of you as expendable in terms of the non-union workspace. I know somebody was talking about one of my friends had a non-union gig where
Mhm.
she was just in the back being a fan of a basketball game,
Mhm.
basically.
Mhm.
And they were just for some reason they couldn't get it right. They were filming up until 2 a.m.
Mhm.
and it's hot in there, no AC, and they wouldn't even let them use the restroom. So in terms of like, yeah, they non-union gigs are looking pretty rough, and in terms of union, they're doing their best to protect these actors. And
Yep.
currently, we're going.
Mhm.
I'm just saying we're going. I want to be acting one day. You're going through and many other actors are going through a strike right now. So if anybody is watching this, guys, please support the actors. These big budget studios are not really trying to share the wealth. And in terms
Mhm.
of these actors being
Mhm.
paid,
Mhm.
they should be paid fairly in terms of they are what the people are looking to see in terms of
Yeah.
that's why these actors are so well known.
Yeah.
When people go out and see, they look at the actors list and, oh,
Yeah.
hey, this man's in it. I'm gonna go watch it.
Mhm.
So in terms of, yeah, man, go ahead and give me more in depth detail on how this strike's going on.
Well, it's the usual, corporate greed, these big companies, they're the ones taking bigger pieces of the pie, and they're not giving anything to the hardworking labor workers, which essentially is actors. And plus it's just not the actors that are on strike, it's the writers.
Editors
The WGA, they're also on strike because they're not getting what they deserve. And it kind of sucks because ever since the streaming industry came in, it just disrupted everything and how people get paid. Before, in the early 2000s, you could have made a living off of writing. You could have made a decent living off of acting due to residuals, due to certain contracts that you would get. But when streaming came in, bro, now these writers, they're getting contracted for like maybe, I would say, less than 2 months, when before they would have contracted work for like 8 months straight.
wow.
So now these companies, they're just producing so much content. They'll hire a writer for like 2 months, and they'll give them like a standard base for 2 months. They'll probably pay him like, the last writer I spoke to, they got, I think, 30 grand for 2 months. Yeah, 30 grand, where before you would probably be making like 60 or 70.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, that's like between like a good 5 to 7 months and of work, which, it sounds like a lot then, but due to now with inflation, how the economy is, come on, man, you're gonna burn 30 grand easily.
Oh yeah, brother.
Easily.
Easily.
But
And
yeah, essentially corporate greed. We're just trying to get, better paid. Nothing. Everybody's trying to eat, just like how those big corporations, they're getting billions, and their CEOs are making, they're multimillionaires. I get it, but at the same time, dude, come on, man. Like, they gotta compensate us somehow.
absolutely, man. If it's getting to a
In a
point
better
where
way.
if it's getting to a point where multiple actors are out here speaking out, then something has to change. And I'm hoping and I'm manifesting that it will change. All right, man. So if you need me to come out and strike with you, brother,
Come on, bro.
where to find me.
We
You got
would
my number.
we would appreciate it. And yes, we definitely
Everybody,
should.
support your local actor.
Come on now.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and segue into something else in terms of, do you remember a specific audition
Hmm.
that you really enjoyed or prepared for?
That I really enjoyed or prepared for was this Matt Reeves audition I had, which was it was awesome because they didn't give me much breakdown on the project. All they told me was it's for Matt Reeves, and that alone was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, is Matt Reeves here? Matt Reeves, god dang.
Yeah, that's wild.
Um, that one was nice. Clearly I didn't book it.
Hey, trial and error, man.
Trial and
Stack
error,
it.
trial and error, trial and error. Euphoria, I had an audition for that.
Absolutely,
Uh,
that's dope.
I had an audition, bro. When I was down in Mexico for Babylon. Did you see the movie Babylon?
My significant other wanted to watch Babylon so
Okay,
bad, and
okay.
I looked at the reviews, and
Uh-huh.
then I watched it, and I didn't really like. I couldn't like. I didn't kind of know what was it about until I read the description, which is like early 1920s,
Mhm, mhm,
filmmaking and stuff like
mhm,
that.
mhm,
I know Margot Robbie's in it, and
mhm. Brad Pitt,
Brad
yes,
Pitt's
Brad
in
Pitt.
it. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the actor, it was there,
Yeah.
but I vetoed it.
You vetoed it.
But she definitely wanted to watch it. So is it? You tell me, is it a good movie?
It's a good movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed the shit out of it because I wanted to go see why did they select the protagonist because I auditioned for him.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
okay, okay.
auditioned for the main guy. I forget his name, but let's look up his name. Hold on, real quick, just real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I auditioned for the role of stand by, guys. Babylon.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't
Dun,
even have a button for that.
right here. I auditioned for Manny Torres, which the actor's name is Diego Calva, and I only went because I wanted to see what the hell did they pick? What did they? Why didn't I
What
get
were they
selected?
looking for
What were they
in
looking
terms of
for? And
his performance?
exactly, and that one was pretty memorable because I'll never forget. My agent told me like, "Brandon, this is for who directed that?" Again, dun 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 dun. Damien Chazelle. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, whatever. Damien Chazelle. My agent told me like, "Yo, this is big, and Brad Pitt's coming out. So if you book, this career changing here."
Okay,
But
okay.
no, clearly not.
No, no worries, man. Like I said, your time's coming. Your
Oh yeah,
time's
bro.
coming.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
worry
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah, and so you auditioned for Babylon, Euphoria, and a Matt
There's
Reeves
been a bunch,
film, and a
bro.
bunch
There's
clearly,
been a
right?
bunch
But those are the most kind of memorable for you in terms of how you wanted to.
that I can think off the top of my brain right now. Yes,
Okay,
I've
okay.
been put on a veil for so many shows. I've had director sessions. I've been so close. I almost booked the freaking Power Ranger role. Like
Hey,
I made it all the way to the producer session. But when they had, did you ever see Power Rangers Time Force?
you know what? I haven't. Is that Is that recent?
No, this is like when we were growing up.
I loved Power Rangers,
Uh-huh.
but I never went back to it, so I
Mm.
can't really just say. I just know that I've watched Power Rangers.
The Red Force Power Ranger was at my producer session, and the the director was there, the producer was there, and so was he. And I was like, "Oh shit, I know who you are." So I had to make sure that I cannot kill this audition. But that's exactly what happened because they made me do some. They wanted me to do this flying kick. I didn't do the flying kick. I
You
literally
were
like,
impossible.
bro. I started off and I tripped midway
Oh
through
no,
and I
bro.
just I kind of got stuck when I went to the floor, and I just thought to myself, I'm not booking this. So I just got back up, and
There was
that
it.
was
They
pretty
were
much
like,
it.
"Thank you, Brenda."
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they do. Usually, oh, thank you, man. You did great.
Man, hey, like I said, that's the behind the scenes of it, right? The trial and
Exactly.
errors. So yeah.
Exactly.
So in terms of, you've gotten yeses and you
Mhm.
gotten nos. How do
Mhm.
you really you told me earlier about a kind of method you kind of go for like the motivation of you
Yeah.
always keep certain scripts. Go ahead and talk to me about that.
Right. So since I've been with my team, since I've been with Momentum, every audition that I have I have this little stack where all my no's are I just stack them up, and all my yeses I highlight it because so it's a reminder of how many no's have I gotten to just get that one yes, and even if it's been commercials, I always highlight them like, cool, I got an audition today, cool, booked it. If I cool, I booked for Apple TV, bam, booked it. And again, I stack them up, highlight the ones that I booked because it just motivates me. It motivates the shit
Absolutely,
out of me
man.
because I look at it, and I'm like, we got to keep going. We got to keep going, and that's the name of the game. You got to keep going.
It's a numbers game.
Exactly,
That's
and
dope, brother.
yeah.
All right. So in terms of this strike going on, right?
Hmm.
How does that affect work currently?
Well, there is no work.
Right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
literally,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
So
There is no work, so this whole strike right now is it's an interesting one because I spoke with the director that I worked with on the Amazon movie I did, Run Sweetheart Run. I
Okay.
hit her up recently, not that long ago. I like staying in contact with her because she's such a sweetheart. She's so nice,
Keeps it
and
real.
she keeps it real. Yeah. So I hit her up just just to catch up a little bit, and she told me that this one's a tough one. This one is a tough one because what the big studios are trying to do now, for one, they're not trying to pay us as what we want, what we're deserved. They want to use now artificial intelligence. Technically, have you used ChatGPT?
I have used ChatGPT for a various amount of
Okay,
things.
you've seen how in
Oh
handy it comes in,
man,
right?
dude.
You can write on ChatGPT. You technically have an Oscar writing robot that can just write you an entire script, an entire feature script. They can write it for you in
Seconds, man.
less than seconds,
Seconds.
exactly. So they want to use artificial intelligence to pretty much, for any extras that are out there or anybody that does extra, they want to use artificial intelligence to, I guess, eliminate extras. Like, okay, cool. The best example I can give you is you're working on a set, you're an extra, but you're only going to work one day. That scene that you did, they're going to crop out your face, and now they're going to go use it in another scene that they need extras in, and you're not going to get paid for that. You're only
Wow.
gonna get paid for that one day that you work, and you're gonna sign a contract where you're giving us your intellectual property rights so that we can use your face and your whole body on this next sequence that we're gonna use. So
Wow,
they're
that's
trying, yeah. So
crazy.
even to the extras, man, that the extras are extras for, they're there for a reason. They make scenes come alive, even though
Yeah,
that
man.
their jobs are minimal. But personally speaking, extras, man, they come in handy because it helps. It makes the scene much
It
more.
livens the scene, right? It
Exactly.
gives it actual, humanity. If you want to film
Exactly.
something with to really get a nice scene where people are cheering, or
Mm-hmm.
that's the you can't really mimic in actual humanitarian emotion, stuff like that.
Right. Right.
So that's very tough. That is
Yeah.
tough,
So
man.
they're trying to even to the extras, man. They're trying to give them
That's
the boot.
crazy. They're
It sucks, bro.
greedy mother.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Exactly. Exactly.
So guys, if you guys are hearing this, make sure you guys come support the actors, man.
Please,
One
guys.
more time.
Please, guys.
Support the hardworking people and don't support these fatties.
Trying to buy my mom a house.
All right. Well, aren't we all?
Aren't we
Yeah,
all?
man. So we got a couple more questions for you, Brandon, before we get into a quick little game to get, more in-depth, conversations out of us. What, in terms of day-to-day life and in your work that clearly, right, you take pride in, your craft and stuff like that, what kind of drives you and what is the motivation behind what you do and how you keep going?
My driving purpose for everything that I do is to just be somewhat financially free and independent, to do whatever I want at any given time. Um, I have waves of motivation that comes, and I think we all do.
Absolutely.
We all have waves of motivation, but motivation doesn't stick. That's why it only comes and goes. But I always have this compass in my life. You have yours, right?
Absolutely.
I have mine where I'm trying to get to a certain level, and this person here cannot be acting the way how I'm acting now. So I try to make sure that I stay disciplined with my day-to-day schedule, which is wake up on time, wake up early, go to the gym, eat healthy, because well, your health is your wealth, right?
Absolutely, man.
Health is wealth. Don't forget that. Health is
All
wealth.
day.
Um
Mentally, physically.
remove mentally and physically, yes sir. Remove toxins from your body, from any external toxins that you have, whether it's music, whether it's people, whether it's food. Try to try to take care of yourself because that's a big one. And I would say, and yeah, did I answer that right?
No, you did, brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're chasing that dream to do whatever you'd like with your time because time is the most precious thing,
Time is the
right?
most precious. Yes,
Absolutely. Keep it up, brother. You'll get there.
of course.
I believe it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And then let me see. In terms of yourself, is there any dream job you're really looking at? In terms of like what role would you want to play the most? Antagonist, protagonist.
um,
If you had to choose right now, they're gonna give you a role. Protagonist, antagonist. What do you think would be the one you would actually choose?
protagonist.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
I think because we're all trying to be, the heroes of our own story, and I feel like I can resonate that the most to because I want to be able to do that across the frame and connect with an audience. Where I whatever, whether the protagonist, he's fighting for love or he's fighting for something, family or whatever it may be, but you get to follow that story.
Absolutely.
You get to follow that story, and if you can make me, whatever I'm playing, if I can make that connection across the lens through, so that to the audience, then that's the bread and butter of what we do.
That's almost like a championship role, right?
Yeah,
like you win
yeah,
a championship.
yeah.
Yeah. But what about this? Do you think it's harder to really get a great performance as like I to me I feel like it's harder to have a great antagonist role or like performance, right? I feel like that's a little harder though, right? In order to, have these the audience hate you or like to be a really because there's been a lot of
Antagonist,
antagonists,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's all right, but like to
yeah,
really hate this person what you're
yeah,
being almost to
yeah.
the point like in real life they're hating you. That's how you know you did something right, right?
Facts. No, that's 100% true. Did you ever see Gladiator?
I have not.
Okay, Joaquin Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so his role in that movie, everyone hates the fuck out of him, but he did such a great job.
There it is.
So yeah, again to
Yeah,
what
man.
you were saying, that's a perfect example there. And antagonists, no, antagonists, they do their part, and when you hate them, you hate them in real life, it's because, man,
They
dude,
did an absolutely
they
great job.
absolute great job.
All right. Great answers, Brandon. So we're gonna go ahead and play a quick little game.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
You're
here.
doing good, brother. We're gonna do a quick little game.
For sure.
It's gonna be a quick little cards, and I'm gonna read by them, and we're both gonna answer them.
For sure.
I'm not gonna tell you whose game this is.
Hey, is that your favorite movie, by the way?
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah?
Is one of my
One
top.
of your favorites?
Yeah.
So you
one of my
like Quentin
top.
Tarantino?
Oh, absolutely,
My
man.
man.
He's a freaking legend.
He's a goat.
Legend in
He's
the
a
game.
goat. He's a goat. He's a goat.
Goat. Shout out Quentin.
That's right.
So I'm not gonna tell you who this game is by because no free promotion around here. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and just read them out loud. And if somebody from the company sees this, go ahead and sponsor your boy because it's gonna get deep. I'm gonna choose a random one.
Okay.
We're gonna definitely do randoms. We're gonna do questions for deep reflection.
Questions for deep reflection. Oh no.
You ready, man?
Oh God.
When was the last time you felt love?
What kind of love though? There's different kinds of love.
Well,
no?
you know what? The last time. So any type of love you felt, when was the last time you felt?
Any kind of love. The last kind of love that I felt. I feel like I have such a close relationship with my mom that I think every time that's like the best love that I think anybody can receive. The love from a mom.
I agree, man.
Like I can't say that the last relationship I had, I think I was in high school, and that love was just more of a, it's puppy love.
Puppy love, yeah.
That puppy love, it really, in the moment, it feels like it's the greatest thing ever, but over time, you just realize that it's such a tiny piece in your part, but
Oh yeah.
you look at the love that a mother gives a son or a father gives a daughter, you
It's
can't.
unconditional.
Exactly.
It's truly unconditional, right?
Exactly.
Next. Oh, well, actually, I gotta answer the last time. Sorry, I'm just so catered to you. The last time I felt love, I mean, I'm always feeling a sense of love between whether it be my partner, quick little cuddle session, or just a call from my mother, right? And how am I doing and stuff like that. You like that?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I love the cuddles, man. But anytime I call my mother, or I see my mother, she gives me an immense amount of love. It's almost overflowing. So like when you say love from a mother, that's unconditional.
Yeah,
I cherish that. What feelings are hard for you to communicate?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, dang, I see. Okay, I see. Okay, what emotions are hard for me to portray for Brandel? At the top of my head, bro, I cannot really, because I'm someone that's very alone. Solitude is one thing that I
Cherish.
I cherish.
Absolutely.
So the only person that I have love for is truly my mother. Again, dude, she's like my best friend. So if it's become redundant, sorry.
Shout out moms, man.
Shout out moms,
Never
man.
give too much love to mom.
Like the love and emotions that are hard for me to portray pray. I'm gonna have to come back on that.
Yeah,
I gotta
man,
think
no
about
worries.
that.
Let me go
one.
ahead and answer
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
In terms of what feelings are hard for me to communicate, I guess I would just say vulnerable feelings in terms of just vulnerable feelings in terms of there's the stigma around us guys, right? That we should just keep our head down and just keep moving, don't worry about anything. But there's times where it's good to just let loose, man. Just talk to somebody.
Right.
We were just talking about Euphoria, right? The gig you had, I think last name is Cloud or McLeod. The guy Fez had just recently passed away, right?
Yeah,
I think it was a mental health issue. He had just previously lost his father. So RIP to him. Make sure you reach out to anybody, close friends, or go ahead and make sure they're okay. But in terms, I guess it's if I'm going through like a rough, stressful patch, I try to always keep it in.
Okay.
So even to my partner, because she's more on the sensitive side.
Okay.
So I always want to make sure her feelings are okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll put mine on the back end, right? So I guess it's when it is time for me to kind of communicate those feelings, it's not that easy, right?
Right.
No matter how well spoken and open I am, it's always going to be just a little hard, right?
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Well, we'll get back to that, Brandon. We'll keep on going for you.
Okay.
Who are you when nobody's watching?
Who am I when nobody's watching? I'm a geek. I'm a geek, man. I love. I'm not gonna lie. I like playing video games. I like reading. I'm currently reading a book right now. It's called Nights by Eli Wiles, whatever. I can't pronounce. It's about a Holocaust survivor.
Okay.
It's about a Holocaust survivor and how. That's what the book is about. But again, who am I? When no one's watching, I'm loving, cherished guy. Again, geek. I love movies. I'm an A-list member with AMC, so
There we go.
You'll catch me at the movie theaters
All
at
day.
least 3 times a week.
He's working.
Yeah.
That's still working, studying.
What about you, fam?
Who am I when nobody's watching?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just somebody who just likes to just let loose, not really care.
Okay.
Very nonchalant. I'm definitely a goofy dude.
Okay.
Dancing all the time.
Okay.
Relaxing.
Okay.
Definitely very carefree.
Very carefree?
Just carefree.
Okay.
To a fault sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just don't. You just let loose.
Let loose?
Right?
Okay.
Let loose. I guess I'm almost the same person in terms of who's watching, nobody's watching.
Okay.
But
like
yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Brando, do you live more for yourself or for the people you love?
That's beautiful because as I'm getting older, I'm coming to realize that I think it's beautiful to be of service to others. My life is not the only life that matters.
Absolutely.
It's the people around me and, my loved ones. Their lives matters too. So I really think about that how can I be the best version of myself so that it can somehow bounce back into their life some way, somehow.
Absolutely.
And so, I think living in service for not only being able to provide for myself, but, my loved ones, provide for them, what they need, what they want. And, if I can extend a hand, I'll gladly do it.
There it is, brother. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I try to balance it in a sense, but, the only real satisfaction and the power of ambition states it, greed isn't ambition. You always got to find a way to service others, because don't think of blessings flowing to you. Think of blessings flowing through you, right? You want to be somebody to, lend a hand to and just always be able to bring the best out of each other. And should be the goal for, always interacting.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Right?
That is beautiful. I love that. Blessings. I like how you said how
blessings shouldn't be coming to you; they should flow through you. That's actually Inky Johnson. Okay, shout out Inky Johnson, one of a great motivational speaker who really had a rough childhood and had his dream of coming to the NFL, and then that came to a halt in a horrific fashion, and he was able to come back up. So look him up, Inky Johnson, guys. Inky Johnson.
Inky Johnson. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what he said. Blessings shouldn't flow to you; they should flow through you. But but you want to be the center of blessings.
You want to be the center of blessings. Damn. Woo. That is no. It's making me think because I was just having this conversation with my cousin not that long ago, my cousin Jeremy, and we were talking about being of service. The man upstairs loves when you're being of service to others, and it's a beautiful thing. And so it's interesting that we're that conversation I had with them, it's circulating back to here, and now it's more of a thing where, okay, then be more of service. That you I already do, but be more of service.
Man. I mean,
do your part.
Yeah, it's like it's almost if you don't, you kind of almost block your blessings, right?
Yeah.
Everything should be like a river, a
Right.
stream,
Right.
And it should come back, like nice little circle of life, right? Everything. If you kind of stop giving, you almost stop giving to yourself also,
Right.
because you don't get that true satisfaction.
Right.
There's only so much materialistic things can do for you,
Right.
and we're essentially spiritual people,
Right.
in the heart of it. So, yeah, man, definitely, that's great.
I like that.
You can live for yourself while living for other people,
You can live for yourself, but you can live for yourself while living for others.
while also living for others. Because I think you aren't really as you wouldn't be as motivated if you were only living for yourself. I feel like that's how some people
operate.
I feel like that's just how some people eventually just don't really care, right? It's hard for people just don't really care if it's just them
Right.
that they're living for.
Right.
But if you have somebody that wakes you up in the morning, or somebody that you wake up to, hopefully make sure they're okay, and just in terms of even just being a parent, we don't have that remote feeling or how that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
But you always hear about it, right? This child's your everything and stuff like that. I feel like that's what it means when you're living for somebody else, and that just keeps you going.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's gonna be my highlight of this conversation. that whole piece.
Yeah, right.
That whole question.
It's good you thinking, man. Shout out. Oops, sorry, you ain't sponsored.
Oh, yeah. For real, don't forget that.
Are you the person you want to be?
Never. I think we're always gonna be searching for the better. I think we're always gonna be searching for that perfect vision that you see yourself here.
Yeah.
But I think it's beautiful the way how Matthew McConaughey said it.
I was just thinking about that too.
Like how
how
you're always going to be fighting and searching up. You're always going to be pushing towards that, but you're never going to be that. But it's cool because
it's something to look forward to.
It's something to look forward to, and you're constantly working towards becoming that better version of yourself. And I think whether or not
you ever achieve it,
but at least you're a better person now than you were yesterday.
Absolutely. I like that you brought that up. I brought that up here on the podcast before. Man. That's how you know we're like right here, man.
That's right, yeah, bro.
We're right here, Brandon.
Exactly.
Man. Let's do one more.
Right. And another thing too, I wanted to add something.
Go ahead, brother.
I think for anybody, trying to do anything in life, whether it's career, it don't matter what it is, physical health, as long as you're trying and you're putting in the effort, don't fuck what you see on social media, fuck what you see on TV. In America, we're programmed to pretty much be brainwashed to thinking, just because this model looks this certain way, that's the idea, the standard of a girl's, exactly, well said. And fuck that. Don't let that, cloud your judgment or cloud your way of doing things, because you're going to have your own version. You have your own version of doing things. And as long as you plan accordingly to, execute your goals, I think don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just plan. If you don't plan, you're planning to fail.
Absolutely.
If you don't plan, you're planning to fail. So make sure you pull out your calendar every Sunday. Do a weekly calendar, daily calendar. If you can't do a weekly calendar, do a daily calendar and just execute all of that. And trust me, you're going to see a difference within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And as long as you're trying, putting in that effort, no one can discredit you for anything. As long as you know that you're putting in the work. And I think ultimately that's what counts.
Absolutely, man. Very well said. That's just the point of it, right? Trying.
And exactly.
Don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Nope.
And as long as you enjoy what you do and you're progressing as whether it's fast or slow, as long as you're progressing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all that matters, and that's
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
Regardless of what social media wants to tell you otherwise.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, bro.
We're gonna give 2 more questions,
Bet.
and then we're gonna probably wrap it up.
Okay.
Oof.
Damn. Already? Damn. I know it's gonna be deep.
What's the line between self-care and selfishness? We were just kind of talking about living for others and living for yourself. Where's that line do you think you draw between self-care and selfishness?
Between self-care and selfishness. What's a thin line? I think that's somewhat subjective because everybody's different, and I think how I draw my line, I think it's different from yours.
Go ahead and tell me how you draw your line.
So I think as long as you just find the way how I do it is, I try to find my balance, on making sure that I give myself time, and then making sure I give my mom certain time because I live with my mom.
Yeah,
Every morning, let's go walk. Vamos a caminar, and I'm like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I make sure because I'm getting older, and I'm realizing that the older I'm getting, the more adventurous I'm gonna become, and whether my mom is gonna be there with me or not, I think about that, and so I try to give her time. I'm not the best at it, but I try to give my siblings time sometimes, and I say sometimes because I didn't grow up with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a somewhat of a I'd say I have somewhat of a dysfunctional upbringing with them. Not dysfunctional, but we don't have that like connection like how my younger sibling has it with our youngest brother. And now that I'm older, I'm realizing time is going by fast. I'm trying to be more in their life because even though I'm not in their lives, I fucking do love those kids, man. I love them. I love them so much.
That's good.
Whether I don't tell you guys, but trust me, you guys are in my heart and mind every day.
There it is. Send them this. You send this. Yeah. Time gone is time passed forever.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's what it is. You always want to make sure you plan your time accordingly, like you said.
How do you do that?
How do I draw the line between honestly, I want to say I don't do a very good job at it. Whether that be it's always one or the other. I feel like my whole life I haven't been as family oriented as I'd like to be. Oh, just my mom. I'm always gonna be there for my mom, but family goes the full circle, 100 yards. I have cousins. I have shout out Steph. I have my brothers. I have brothers and sisters that kind of live a little far from me. Hi guys, if you guys ever see this, I know I don't really kind of make that time, but I want to be more family oriented. But in terms of me being selfish, I feel like sometimes I'm not selfish enough, right? With my time and stuff like that, trying to attend to others and make sure the people around me are good. I want to make sure my girlfriend's good. She's going through a very transitional part of her life of trying to be a nurse.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's going to go through a whole program. It's going to be accelerated. So I always want to make sure I'm there for her. Her needs and how stressed she's gonna be. I'm gonna be prepared for that. So yeah, man. But in terms of how I draw the line, man, I don't even know.
You don't even.
And that's the best answer I can give you because I can't even lie.
Okay.
I don't know where that line's at. Let's go one more with a different song. I'm about to start crying.
Yeah, for reals, bro. That soundtrack really gets you thinking.
It gets you thinking, right?
It helps.
Ooh, okay. We're going to end it off with this. What lesson that you wish you had learned sooner?
Ooh.
What's a lesson that you wish you had learned sooner?
What's one lesson that I wish I had learned sooner? To instantly see what doesn't benefit you and remove them from your life immediately. That, I would say, at least for me.
Okay.
I would say for me because I feel like I've been somewhat, not closed-minded, but I've been like, the majority of my early 20s, I didn't go out. I stayed indoors because I always paid attention to the bigger picture. I didn't go out to parties. I didn't go to my grad night or prom. I didn't do none of that. And
Wow.
I didn't do it because I was always looking in the future. And yeah, sure, talking about the moment, like, well, you're not going to go to prom. You're never going to go. Like, I wasn't even cool with half of the class that I graduated with. Real talk. Like I had some football classes, football dudes that we were cool on the field, but outside of that, like fuck you guys. I didn't give a fuck about you, and yeah, and they didn't give a fuck about me, and I felt the energies. And one thing about me, I'm all about energy.
Absolutely.
If I feel like our energies match, then cool. I'm gonna bring you into my into my life, and and see what can happen. But real like circulating back to that question. For me, knowing to remove fucking just toxic people from your life, man. I think that for me has been a big deal in my life. So now that's why now I'm trying. I told you that I'm trying to get my own place, because someone told me once, hey man, your peace will be, there's no price to peace. It don't fucking matter if you gotta pay 2,500 or 3 racks for your place, but as long as it's your place, you ain't gotta deal with nobody, then cool. Protecting your energy, protecting your energy, man.
That's good. That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
What's a lesson that I wish I had learned sooner? I think it's I want to say, I wish I would have learned sooner that little basic things, basic habits, and if you stack those, can prepare you for an opportunity.
Yep.
And it's like, that's how you should do everything how you do everything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
How you train is how you play.
Exactly. So in terms of that, my mom, being an amazing woman that she is, gave me everything I could ever want. So when I moved out, I didn't even wash my first dish, really. Like, I think the maximum amount of chores I did at my mother's place, I already quadrupled that in my first week of living here. So, you know what I'm saying? So I was in here washing a dish with a smile, cleaning with a smile, because, I'm learning now that those are the things that can lead to something greater.
Yeah.
And again, I just mentioned Inky Johnson, him saying this water bottle analogy. If I walk by a plastic water bottle and I don't pick it up, I mean, that's on you, but he taught his son, pick that water bottle
Pick it up, yeah.
And then he said, but Dad, I didn't drop it. He said, I didn't ask you if you drop it. If you can't do something as little as pick up a water bottle and put it in the recycling bin, then what makes you think that you're ready for anything further than that? You know what I'm saying? So good habits lead to everything.
No,
yeah, man. So I just wish that I learned how to stack those habits earlier, so I can be stacking bigger habits.
That's good.
That's basically what it is.
Old habits too, like bad habits.
Breaking old habits. That's tough.
Old habits die hard. Like, especially like bad habits. Bad habits can die hard if you don't get a good grip of them. But okay, I like that.
That's where we're at, man. That's where we're at, and that's how we draw the game. If anybody wants to grab that game, find it on your own.
Find it on your own.
Unless I'm getting sponsored, but Brando, it has been a true pleasure to have you, to pick your brain.
No, of course, bro. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of acting realm, and just you're just a very good guy with great energy, very intellectual. That's why we're here, to really just stimulate each other's minds. I hope we did that today.
Yes, we did.
And man, anything you want to tell my viewers in terms of what's to look out for you, and if they want to see more of you, go ahead and tell them your Instagram and stuff like that. Any questions for me? All that.
Well, for one, I'll plug in my Instagram. For anybody that does want to follow me, Mr. Brando Ruiz. You can find me if you follow Richie. You'll be able to find me. Just type in Brando and I'll pop up. And yeah, if in regards to you trying to find me, right? And any projects that I'm doing right now. Well, right now the industry is shut down. But you can find me on Netflix. You can find me on Amazon, Apple TV, and I have a few commercials out. But who really searches for commercials, right?
Yeah,
no
exactly.
one searches for commercials. But
it is.
Yeah, no, and I think that would say I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, make sure you support this the strike going on with these actors.
Please,
make sure you support it.
Please support us actors.
Support actors, support small businesses, all that. Support small businesses. Shout out Fort Bliss for the merch. Got your tee right here. It's nice and clean. We got a design.
Hey, that is a flag tee. I was looking at it. That was nice.
The back too. I'll put something up right here. Okay. Also, give me some glasses. Randall, pass me those glasses right over there.
They gave you these?
Yeah, man. So if you buy a tee, you get glasses also. I'm not sure if they're still dropped, but they got drops all the time.
Those are fly.
That look clean.
Those
man.
are fly. Them
look
Easy
solid.
shades right there.
There it is. Shout out Point Bliss, man. We're looking good. Brando, it's been a true pleasure, man.
Indeed, brother. Indeed.
We'll be linking up soon enough. All right, man. Bump it. We out.